Oh, that's when you broke down.
So yeah, so I fully down, like I'm broken now. I'm sick. Things are bad. Things are weak, as people say. Things are weak.
So the picture is, you've gone through situation with Vivian.
Yes, we finished level 1.
Vivian level 1.
Before level 1, we were struggling for me to get the robots that will stop the red robots that she said.
Yes. Then
so we finished it. Then
peace.
Then peace. Then now.
Papa.
The depths of it all.
2020.
Yes.
Tukikupata mahali tutakufili.
Wow.
So I'm telling my wife everything. We are breaking down. We're like, whoa. So I still can't tell her. I was saving some money to surprise her. Like God. So I started seeing how that money wants to. I just started seeing how you're doing it like Wenda. Because at that time I think they had increased limits for M-Pesa. Yes. And so I was balling, man. I had a different account which she didn't know about. I'm sorry. And then now my M-Pesa was fat. But it was not fat enough for the situations that the doctors were telling me. I love you doctors, but what?
It is what it is.
So yeah, so we're looking for like 2 point something for this whole thing to be done. So we are researching on different hospitals. How much can this be for such a surgery? We are busy in this thing fully.
In the thick of it. And that's when TikTok is bringing.
Yes, at that time.
People are literally thick.
At that time, I'm not even asking God anything at that time, because I just say, God, I need this.
It's just this,
So God, it's like God is on the side, and we are trying to see how you handle this. Let's sort it. I'm doing this, you know. And for some reason, I think also God knows, and so He just releases that thing that you asked for. Season. So He released this, but then we were struggling to figure out this thing. So we went to hospital 2 the next morning. Right?
They too say they can't.
They too, they say they can't do it. They have to take us to I don't know which other hospital. So,
same story.
So they're like, hey, okay. So this other one is saying I don't know how much. So the figures are beginning to change, and we're like, okay, what do we do? Now back to my account, I'm like, even if I cancel this card thing, because this situation is serious, but then it can't still get to that figure. You see the way you say, you know, your story, you have to piga shughuli, make this thing be done, and you're like, you see, you have, So I had that thing somewhere. So I was also saying, I need to find a way to get this money.
Fix it,
myself.
You myself was ripped.
You myself, but will show you.
So God just started. You can open a switch.
It is not yourself.
Or a banana.
You are not the one in charge.
This is you. You see, this is now you.
And this is the part we throw away.
Yes. And then he removes the crown and he's like, now, Buddha, do well.
I'm back from there.
You easy see well, do well. And I'm like, check it. I had sent some money. This is what I wanted. Oh, babe. But then she's already dreaming of how can we sort this out. So she had that, but at that time, na hiyo moment, hakuwa na gari. Hii shughuli tunaisort. So we started thinking sijui ya mchanga nini, and I'm like, hey, hii pride yangu itakubali maneno kweli?
Hii pride yangu, wajaluo na pride.
At that time, God is doing that thing, you know. But I'm still like, hey. But I think at that season, I felt like probably God needed people to even help, because I think we were in a place where so many things were happening, but He was also for that your part because pride for such degree is not a good thing, because people help out. It's true. People help out people,
and I know how
exactly. But then for me, it was just
I know.
I think there was also we were also in a season where we had come from kujikava sisi wenyewe
Yes,
wawili.
yes,
And so God
yes.
was trying to show us,
To
I'm bringing you a
yes,
community,
yes.
and you need to welcome this
Welcome
community. You
them.
need to be vulnerable to them. You
No
need
man
to
is
help
an
them.
island.
You need to accept love. Man.
Because we were in a place where that's what we knew in that season. We knew that. So he just came through. And nilifeel tu aliniambia cheki mzae iko hivi, you live in this world with people.
Yeah.
There are people who will just pray. There are people who will just give a small. There are people who will just be with you in that season. I think that season for me, I just needed people to be there. And people who could pray, because I needed peace. And I just entered that place.
You can't even pray. So.
Yeah.
And so it was so hard for, but it was so hard for me to pray, because that season I used to be very serious with my prayer life and everything. But if you can point, you can call like, oh God, I just need your peace. So give me that peace. And so I went to the next hospital. They say they can't. Then now we felt like this Kenyatta business looks like the cheapest that we can look into right now. So we said he slept in the same hospital. No, we shifted.
We shifted
hospital. Actually, we shift because the issue now was we needed time to raise the money.
Yes.
And you can't keep him in hospital that whole time. Raising the hospital that he was currently in, he was paying just 10K only for oxygen. That time it was oxygen.
Yeah, so because of COVID,
so it was 10K per day oxygen. That's minus bed, that's minus medication, that minus. So in the one night that he spent there, we ended up paying 60,000.
Yeah, it was
one night.
bad. Yes.
Just one night. And so we thought about it. We were like, if we keep him here in the name of saving money, we may never raising money. We may never. So someone advised us, which made sense. Like at least take him to Kenyatta.
Kenyatta, as we figure out of raising funds,
he'll be catered
for.
Yeah.
So we went to Kenyatta. No. So the next day we took an ambulance.
Took him to
went to
KNH.
Yeah. My mom was there from I think 10 in the morning. That's when the ambulance got there. Yeah. So we were going to join them actually. Until 10 p.m. That was when he was getting a bed. Because of the COVID situation again. So we went there, tukakuwa naye for a while, but it was again still hard for people to go in, and so it was just chaos. It was chaotic. Yes. So it was the general ward, the general wards, but then it was an orthopedic ward. No, it was an orthopedic ward. Yes. So we managed to connected to a doctor, and they were like, okay, we can do it. But then they couldn't do the surgery immediately because the queue was long. Remember, the other guys had told us we need this surgery needs to be pace. The guy is in pain, and we don't know how much damage is happening because the nerves are dying. And so it was a sad moment. But I think it drained us. So for like a month, nothing has happened. So I used to go to hospital.
Nothing has happened, money is needed.
Nothing has happened. So the first 2 weeks, this guy was not eating. And I was like, God, now my prayer changed. I'm like, God, just enable him to be able to get something as we wait for the surgery. Father Alikonda, he was reduced to, and then he couldn't talk much. Because now he was getting tired, so it was just about the pain. So it was pain from that Monday to now. It's a month and a half down the line.
I remember you telling me that some of the people, was it the nurse or something, said that, hey man, your mzee talks all night.
Oh yeah, so people
now sleeping.
People now complaining, but it was because of
the pain, ajakula.
Yes.
And so his eyes are like this pain.
But then he never slept. He was not closing his eyes. So every muscle, everything was tired about it. It was I think that drained us, and I think that season it was like, okay, money can answer some things, but it just can't answer everything.
Because there's some people have gone through that and
because now we were just like even if we had the 1.8, it was still a risk because the doctor was saying it's still a risk. So because of I'm telling you this amount. I'm not trying to push you away, but it's still also a risk on my end. That's what they were saying. So it's not a guarantee. It wasn't a guarantee.
This is the same period as I'm trying to pray for a situation. I find myself praying for you guys.
Yes.
And there's nothing I can give you.
Yeah.
And then, funny thing, I don't know how you guys will take this. Ness and I were getting strength. We are saying, my friend,
Pray.
if Anto and Ben is going through this, shut up. Shut up, kula yo mbosho. Kula. Blend that mbosho. Kunywa na Messi go and buy Githeri.
Drink it.
Drink that Githeri. You know, it was funny, but
Yeah. So
hey,
we used to go feed. We used to feed him with the pipe at some point. So we were trying to feed him. So we, again, that season was again too. Yeah, you had to go get a plate, get a straw. So anything you
Getting into the hospital.
again, getting so you know the ones coming, the nurses are telling you, find a way to feed him.
the nurses are telling you.
Yeah, the which is there.
Hey.
The first day they told me we can't serve because you don't have a cup.
By the way, you don't have a
So
cup in the plate.
I'm just down there, they get a cup, a plate, I'm going back, I'm like, God,
Hey, Jesus.
God, you know, like, we're naangalia. Say anything, because anything can just break me.
Yeah.
So nafika pale, we are trying to feed him, takes kidogo, anawacha, and then just the whole environment, the whole place just makes you feel like, oh. It was so hard because at that time you can't even see what you're graced with, what you can to be able to release. As much as I would enter the wards and I'm just trying to pray for people. Most of the time I would pray for people, but within my heart.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see how much I could release. Because sometimes, you know, you get the confidence of, God, I know that you have edified me, you have increased me. So at that time, nilikuwa nafika and I would just say hi, but nikikaa na father hapo, I just pray for people generally. But again, it was so hard. And funny enough, that was when I would pray. And then when I go home, I would just deal with the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing. So we managed to, we started raising money.
Yeah.
I think at around that time.
Yeah.
We started raising money. Then we realized that there was things were not moving in terms of admin within that system. And so someone once told us, hey, okay, you guys, if you don't push this thing quickly, you lose your dad. Because there's so many requests that have been that were already before you request, so it will take some time. I think he was telling us you up to like 6 months down the line. So like, because there was someone we know who was working around that side, fights and stuff. So Makio, you're the one who's supposed to be feeding and all this, but sometimes unakazio unakauko inje till evening. So no one has gone in that day. Yes.
So
using transport.
Then,
so we went to. We had to shift. We had to shift.
Me back to that.
Yeah, we then shifted.
as a man during that situation,
We then shifted.
Yes.
Yeah, we felt like okay, we need to do this ASAP. So we went to the private wing. I think at some point now my worry shifted from my dad, because I think God was also trying to strengthen me, strengthening me. So I was just looking at my mom and I'm like, Mom, your friend will be fine. Your friend will be fine. And I think that's what he needed. Because I didn't imagine what she was going through being at home alone with someone who always would make you laugh and would always be next to you. I think the place of a man was beginning to be increased in me, or a father. And I started seeing myself as a dad, as a father, and as a husband. Because I was imagining what she was going through when I was going through that. And then now I started seeing and learning. It's sad because it was me learning. I can't say that God was pushing me to learn that through that situation, but I was seeing how my mom was missing my dad.
But then she was like, hey, nimemiss daddy. Unajua nikiingia kwa nyumba amekaa pale.
Those things.
Your mom is so sweet.
You know,
she's so sweet.
It was I think those.
Don't cry, you make me cry.
Let's focus.
Your tears are already balanced.
We might have to post this video.
But yeah, so we managed to move him to the private wing and we felt like, whoa, sigh of relief, sort of. But there
was a big difference.
It was
private wing.
Oh wow.
No, why are you like this, baby?
Hey, man, relax.
So, It's okay.
Okay, no more
This is real.
Yeah.
This is
Don't
real.
look at me.
It's real.
You
It's
also
real.
don't look at that.
It's real. So I think so after that we felt a bit confident.
Yeah.
So this is going to happen. We are no longer dealing with the dramas. Sana za kuingia or you have to sign.
Yeah.
Sometimes you told no, msiingie, it's lunchtime, nini. So then it reached a point. Private viewing, at least it was different because the system was a bit different. You'd have conversations with people. The other side, you're dealing with very crazy, and they're like, no,
You don't care.
we don't care.
Yeah.
People die here. So we're like, okay.
You're not the first.
Yeah.
So this other side, that was day one. We talked to the doctor. He arranged for us. So we were like, okay. So the money that we had saved, we can push it there, and then also, and thank you so much, guys. Supported us.
Yeah.
Guys supported us.
Online guys supported us.
We did a fund drive,
strangers, hey.
and we were just like, whoa, God, thank you. Like you opened us up to people, and we actually saw your hand. So we raised the money, paid the deposit. Then
I think this is the time where now we tell people, like, if you see those posters that people are asking for help, like
help.
Even if it's 20
guys, I
yourself.
think in that season I was finding myself in those situations. I would see something and I'm like, I don't know even the person.
I don't know the
Yeah,
person, but
I don't
I'm
know.
sending.
Help.
Yeah.
Even if
I would send. I think at that time there was a news about a girl, also a lady who did a surgery, and then like, there were two cases. I didn't even ask. I didn't even try to figure out what would have been the reason.
Like, you don't
I was
sent money because you
because you were there and you're like, whoa, now I understand.
Even that 20 bob, even that 100 bob.
I understand.
Imagine if 100 people chuck 100 bob.
Yeah.
It's changed so much.
Yeah. So then, we arranged the surgery to be done. At that time, my dad would try and eat a bit, at least, so we were feeling like, oh, it's happening. Then what happened is they organized for the next day.
Yeah.
The next day, they went for the surgery. He was taken in for the surgery. We waited.
Just getting 9 hours.
It was long. Because we were told, so we had to be prepared. The doctor had prepared us well, so they told us, okay, this thing, as much as it's like you guys just pray. Actually, we got a guy now who is a neurosurgeon who is a believer. Yes, and also a bone surgery. So the bone surgery was a believer, and the other friend was a neuro. So actually, they worked together. Just told us, just pray, because it's beyond us. This is not an easy, a normal. And also because of age, that is why they didn't want to do the surgery. So they said, we'll do the surgery. So they did the surgery. We waited for hours. Told my mom, I think let's just go home and come back, because it was late and they had not come back. Then just before we left, and as we were now leaving, my uncle came in, my cousin, and he went. He told us, Father has actually come out to surgery. And we were like, and you see, I was already used to surgery. Because also my wife's situations at the time of just around birth and our pregnancies, our kids.
It's a whole
It's been a
other
blessing. So I used to be in that place where someone goes into a room and you're waiting for the doors to open so that the person can come out alive. And I think if I've ever interceded, those are moments that I would say, whoa, I have prayed. Where you almost like you just want to see God, you just sit with him and you don't say anything, and as you wait together, let's wait for her to come back. So God, hey, so then they come out and you're like, thank you, she's here. Yes. So 2-3 days after, 4 days after, he was discharged. Went home. At least he could recognize people, talk, and we were like, God, you did it. I think for me, it reached a point where at some point, I think I got so angry, I got so mad, and I was really praying. I was really talking at God. I was talking at him. And I was like, no. Someone falling down and then a life is taken, I refuse.
I refuse.
I refuse. It does not make sense to me. It does not make sense, you know. And at that time, I couldn't even comprehend, because I think one of the things that for me has been a challenge is trying to understand the tough things that are extremely tough, that I keep asking God, like, when is it a time for someone to, you know, it's so tough that he has to leave or anything like that. And those things, I know they're very tough questions. But that for me was like, God, if this is happening, you have to explain this to me. Because at some point you're like, okay, this is so tough. So I went home and like, this is awesome. Because I felt like an answer was prayer. A prayer was answered. It was an answered prayer that clearly, clearly all we needed to see is you bringing him to a person who can talk, because at some point he was just saying things. And so that for me was the miracle number one. But then later on, he was again in pain, because when we left, we used a wheelchair.
We needed a physiotherapist.
We needed a physiotherapist twice a week. Twice a week, a physiotherapist, and also someone, a nurse to take care of. That was like how much per day? Every day they come in.
It was about
2.5, and I think 3 for the 2.5 or 3 for the nurse and for the physio. And those again were figures. So at this point you've charged almost all your money. So what is remaining is very kidogo, and also I'm still pushing myself, because by then, during that time when you're in and out of
take care of as well.
You have a family to take care of. You have to remember you're a dad.
Your wife is
you have a pregnant
Your wife needs your attention.
Your
so
wife
I
is about
needed
to give
attention
birth.
here, exactly.
Na daktari alishasema hii hakuna kusukuma.
Yeah. That's it. So you're thinking about and it's not an easy yes, it was a delicate one also.
Hey, me and dog. I could reach prepare and I'm like, so good. Then God just say, shut up.
Be quiet. Nothing
Shut
to
up.
say.
You have nothing to say. Come here, share a person ball and dog. Come, put a like. Hey.
So, so things became a bit tough, because he wasn't really progressing well. But the first week was sort of okay. Second week okay, and we were like, okay, this is good. You should go see him. So at this time also I'm working hard. So I also now almost like trying to shift my attention also to her, and also to just work hard to prepare. Because it has been a tough season, and I knew very well that CS is how much. We have gone through already surgery before. So we were already working with something from what our guy had told us actually. So it was just that time when you needed to do things, you needed to push things. Then what happened, the situation became tough that now my dad couldn't swallow food. He couldn't now eat. And even the pieces, the amount of food was very low, but he couldn't eat. And he was just saying, I'm tired. So again he started losing speech, and then he used to have bed sores also. Increased, and I think my mom almost started getting to a place of, okay, this is not even interesting now. As in, yes, we wanted him home, but then we are like, okay, now should we take him back to the hospital again? So it was just it dwindled again, and I think God was preparing us at that point. He really did that place of preparation in our hearts, and it was I don't know how long from hospital, like the whole duration
After.
the whole duration after. Then on my birthday I told guys, hey, I just feel like this is December now. Guys, I think we need to go home and just let's go and pray and visit my dad. So I invited a few guys. We went home. Mom always used to have people to come and pray. And so after that, it was on a weekday, and so my birthday was falling on a Saturday. And so I felt it strongly that day, and I thank God for a prophetic community. Because there are things, you know that, okay, God is trying to really show you something. And I was like, I feel like God, it's time, because the pain is too much, and I'm just praying for now a total healing for him. Because that's what I was believing in. Through all the process, I was like, God, I want to see him walk, And so I started just debating questions of, okay, but this is what I want. This is what I've been wanting to see. But I just felt like that season, all I wanted, at that time, all I wanted on that day, I said I wanted to spend time with people for my birthday. Because I actually wanted to go home, but we couldn't. I don't know, we had a meeting and something.
So we went on Wednesday?
So we went on Wednesday, So on my birthday, we were having just time together, and I said, God.
Just to thank the guys who were with us.
Yes, through the process. Yeah, so I said, I felt like he was going to leave us that season. And I just said, God, this would not be the gift that I would want. Yes, I want total healing for him, but I wouldn't want this on my birthday. I remember saying that. And so that day I was just, for some reason we were just happy. We had a good time for my birthday. We ended up because somewhere.
We went and had lunch.
Had lunch. We were with the Assis.
The Assis, MASHOURROUT.
So chilled. But somewhere in my heart I knew this is it. Yes. And so that day I went to bed. My heart not being settled, of course, because I was like, okay, God, I said this should be happening on this day. You remember, because I don't want to be remembering with such. Yes. And so in the morning we are preparing for Sunday. I want to go and just celebrate and say, God, thank you for life, another year and all that. Then in the morning as we are preparing, Mom calls me and it's like, hey.
To the mom, to the nurse.
No, the nurse called me and told me, how are you? I'm good. I knew it.
You just knew. And that was still your birthday.
Okay.
Oh, the day after
Sunday.
The day after your birthday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I knew, I felt like it was coming on that Saturday. But still, I still had anger because I'm like, I've never understood them. I always want to understand what. It doesn't make sense. I've lost people before, but this particular one was different. It was different. I felt almost like something.
It was abrupt, just from a fall. Then
yes. And somehow I was in the thick of it. At that time now, yes, I was deep. Yes, the peace almost sometimes would secure me. And at that point, the moment I was told that, I started feeling like my prayer changed, and I was like, God, again, I need people to pray with me because I think at this time I can't really pray. I need people to stand with me in prayer, and I need your peace more. Right now, I need it more. And I felt like all I needed was someone to help, to lead,
to lead a prayer.
Yes, lead prayer, and also lead me. Like, what do we do next? Because that day we were with my wife, and thank you so much.
Appreciation, the wives, man, the wives. Man, the wives. The wives. You cannot get those wives without prayer. I'm not
so
going
to like, whoa, babe, Father has left us. And we were like, whoa. She cried. So I'm looking at her, trying to gather myself. We cried together. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay, but she's crying, so I'm like, okay. She made me feel like, whoa, like, you see, you build relationships, but there are some relationships that you were intentional about building and founding. Yani, she made me miss my dad at that point because she was saying things, and I'm like, whoa. So this is how much you are connected.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I mourned the dad more than
yes.
It wasn't making sense to me. I was just like, I just knew this dude 6 years ago.
No, so it was deep, and we felt the cut. So we went home, took the body to morgue. After we took him to the morgue, we informed guys, people started working with us, and we came back and we started preparing. So this time, 2020.
But now this drama
that's the whole year.
All this drama.
It's the whole year.
From June to December.
June to December.
From pregnancy. Pregnancy from your June.
Yes.
So from June to December. All that.
So we prepared.
6
At
months.
that time now things have changed. So you can't go back. You don't want to go back again and tell people, guys, support.
Yeah.
Because the feeling is over, man. We don't want to push people again, so we just appreciated guys who supported, and then we started planning for
a funeral.
Yeah.
So I think at that time is when I cleared everything that I had, and I was like, Mom, how do you want us to buy? How do you want this to be done? And we planned, we gave him a very decent send-off.
Despite everything.
The way
Couldn't
Mom
even come
wanted
because
it.
COVID said no.
Yes.
COVID
I think
said.
that's all I needed, and I think God keeps people. God keeps people.
Yep.
Whichever situation, God keeps people. Like, I keep saying this thing, and I don't know. I keep saying this thing that I don't know how I managed, and I'm glad because the day that now we came and we were talking to you guys, and they said they were praying. I know people are praying, and I was like, this are the
It makes
reasons
sense.
Why we
this
stood.
makes sense because
Yeah.
I don't know how I
Yeah.
managed to stand
Yeah.
to the end.
We went to the forest. I don't think.
And everything, Ness and I decided to take a walk.
Wow.
That walk
We were just
made it up in the bush. Right, these are tabias I used to have in A levels.
These are
in
things
Uganda.
our forefathers do.
And for me, A levels, we used to pray in the forest. Long time, come on, tuna fast. So these are tabias.
See how it turns.
And that
The
was
jackals, we're just
So one of the dangerous prayers I made in that season, I don't even think I didn't, when I was making the prayer, he didn't even know. I think he found out later or something. But I prayed and I told God, imagine, you can always give us another baby, but we can't have another father.
Yeah.
Like I think at that place of negotiating with God, because I'm just like weighing our options. I'm looking, the pregnancy and father. Me, I was in the thick of it, but Tosh was in the thick of the thickest. Yani yeye ndio the thick of yeye is the thick.
Yes,
When you talk
yes.
about in bringing into the thick, him is the thick.
You wanted God to take the baby, but spare
Yeah,
fathers.
like just because him, it is my father, my wife, my baby.
That's what Tosh is going through.
That's what Tosh is going through. Me, I'm just going through me. And most of the time we are normally cruel to ourselves, so it's just like me, I'm
Yeah,
not.
I
I
can
can handle.
Yeah.
But father, and all this pressure, I'm like, imagine God, you can always give us another baby to
Yeah.
us back.
Yeah,
This baby.
yeah,
I'm like, you've been faithful. You say you promised that this guy, it took you a while, but you still were faithful. And so I know you're gonna be faithful again. So just take this child back.
Oh
Tosh.
yeah, I
I
was
remember
so
when I realized that, I was just telling you, God can still give you both.
Both,
Yeah.
The baby and wow.
But it's crazy when you get to that point of pain, you even start giving God options.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Like there, no,
Like
like,
there,
listen, if you can't do this one, do this
Just
one.
do this
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
But then he knows everything.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, that pain, me, it was for Tosh, man. As a man, I tried to switch sides, chap during COVID. I was like, let me in gear. Tosh puts on 3 sizes lower than me. Shoe size.
One.
But
Why are you embarrassing?
You gave me
those shoes are big. Oh my god. Anyway, I could not fit in those shoes because that dress Tosh had, I don't know how he was functioning, because there are certain pressures men go through in marriages whereby we are there but we're not there. We are on robot mode. And I could imagine what Tosh was going through, and I just said, God, man, these are my prayers. They're others. They're AOBs.
Let's focus on this.
Focus on this guy. And that season for me just taught me lessons of men or even women. Let me not even try it side up. Whenever you're looking for a partner, do not look for a partner by yourself. This constitution of marriage was made by God. And as I tell people, the government of Kenya is there. Why people complain about marriages is because, first of all, the devil does not like marriages. That's number one. Yes, because when two people come together, anything that comes together with one goal can achieve crazy stuff. So that's the same thing in marriage. And then it's a blessed union, constitution with God. The people in the marriage are the ones that need work. And so when you're praying for a partner, you need to pray to God to help you get that person. The right person. Because look at this situation with this guy's story. first of all, my useless story is if I had the wrong woman, they would have left me. I would have been part of the statistics of the single men, the men who are watching during COVID. And then I would have also maybe been a useless man who was not really trying to make things work with Nessie. In their side, when Vivian had the blood issue, this girl said, by the way, I've had kuna witchcraft in your religion. You have struggled, And maybe you would have said deuces. Or
we are ninyonya pesa yangu.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. How do you would have asked God, better God, when you gave me this one? Was it really from you? You know? Or Vivian, on the other hand, when the father of Tosh was in OC, will say, by the way, it's about my pregnancy now. Your dad is already old.
Exactly.
You know? Such stuff. So it's very important who we get into marriage with, and there's no rush. There's no rush. It's not even a must, by the way. But when you want to get into it, big up. Pray. Pray. I've prayed for a wife for the longest time, and I thank God for my friend. You guys. That is it. You have gone through issues. There are many issues I've not told you.
Kept it real.
Which will come.
There are levels. You know, they had a level, and then there's another level.
And then there are some of you with worse levels. So
we'll also release
Mdogo too.
I know these are like sad stories,
but they're
real and they need to be told.
They need to be told.
They help people. So we just hope like these stories will help you in either your decision making, or if you're going through something, it will give you hope, or just like I just pray for you guys.
It's true. In this marriage, in this thing of choosing a partner, be with God or whoever you're believing with and then at the same time make sure you really support your partner in the thick of it or not. You have to,
as my mom would say, in those seasons, talk softly to each other.
Yes, that is it. That is it.
Don't raise your voice, because everyone is already at the edge. Like we are all fighting for our lives. Talk softly.
As you pray for that shalom, for that peace, also activate
it physically.
Guys, physically
between you guys. That's powerful, guys. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video.
Lakini tusiwawache feel bad. The child is real. The child came.
Yes, Samara. Oh yes, thank you.
Samara is very much here.
Samara is here.
Hey,
you watched her take the first latch. My friend.
We were there seconds after she was born.
You guys, you see how that pregnancy was problematic. When you look at Samara, if you've watched Croods, the last one, that is Samara.
She's a fighter.
I'm like, it doesn't match. I'm like, no, actually it matches.
She fought
and then when you look at what Samara means, because she was named way before, what does it mean?
Samara means protected by God.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Let's close. Thank you. Subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe. A shout out. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you guys.
Hold still. On the road to success, I'm just driving. I just speak of life, that's so fast I'm traveling. I'm doing way more than just surviving. I'm winning, bitch. You can say I'm driving.